Hunter x Hunter is an amazing written story that doesn't really focus on power levels. So you're probably thinking, why would we make a video called Strongest of All, discussing these strongest characters in Hunter x Hunter and who is the one who reigns supreme? Well, I'll say this. When it comes to Hunter x Hunter, we know there's only one major facet when it comes to making it really tough to determine who is the actual strongest. And that's why a lot of people have been debating and debate. If you ever go see a Hunter x Hunter video, just watch a clip on YouTube, you'll see the debates are crazy when it comes to mixing and matching who's more powerful than the other. There's so many different Nen users. We have different Nen types. We have enhancers, we have transmuters, we have emitters, we have manipulators, we have conjurers, and we have the most spookiest one, the specialist, who we just don't know what they're going to do. And characters like Kurapika, when he's a specialist, he has all 100% to all 5-6 categories. So I definitely want to say this. There's big facets when judging characters' powers, and that's why it's so difficult to judge. One of my most favorite scenes, and a very underrated scene, and a lot of people don't really like this character, but Morel is one of my favorite characters in the series. And one of his best lines is like, it doesn't matter if that, because Killer was like, you guys are not powerful enough to go even mess with the Chimera ants. And Morel's like, you think it's all about who's more stronger? That's not what it's about when it comes to Nen battles. And it just showcased that he was telling the truth. Like, Morel's, what he showcased in the Chimera Ant arc was very litty. Now, let's keep it real. When it comes to top tiers, they haven't really gone all out. We haven't seen the full capabilities of a lot of the top tier characters in the Hunter x Hunter series, and I definitely believe that as the story goes on, we'll see more and more, and the final ends of the story we'll see finally. But Chimera Ant arc is the most part where we saw a lot of top tiers. I can name them like Netero, Meruem, Royal Guards, Phantom Troop. We saw a lot of characters go in and show their Nen abilities, but we still haven't seen them go all out, a lot of them. Now, a lot of people say, what's the discussion? Netero is the strongest of all. You see his flashback in his prime, the speed of sound punches, and like, he's definitely said he was not in his prime when he fought Meruem, so in his prime he's definitely the strongest. But there's been many situations where Netero actually isn't seemingly look like the strongest. And I will say this, he was shaking off the rust. I don't think he was at his prime level. People say he's on his prime level. He definitely was old in the Meruem fight. So then you say, what about Zeno Zoldak? He seems like a younger character than Netero. We know Netero's over 100 years old, but we know Zeno Zoldak is a very badass character, but he even said it himself, he's not even near Netero. So that kind of ends him off the conclusion of trying to be the strongest of all. And he's witnessed Netero probably in his prime, and that's why he has it stuck in his mind, which he won't even debate it. Netero is on top. That's what makes me think Netero Prime is amazing. Then I know what you're probably saying, what about the Royal Guards, Mac? We have Pito, who's amazing when it comes to her speed and her intelligence in battle too. We have Yuppie, who his power is insane. Of the Royal Guards, I feel like he's the most powerful when it comes to physical strength. And then we have Poof, who's intelligent and he can trick you. And I feel like these three are all monsters, but they are followers, so you can't really say they're the strongest of all. Then you're probably thinking, what about a character who actually destroyed a royal guard? Adult Gon, and he was kind of said that he was equal to the king. Well, I will say this, he did destroy a royal guard, which was epic versus the Pito fight, but that's more of a power-up which has a lot of conditions. It's not something he can use all the time. And then there's Meruem, who actually beat the guy who was said to be the strongest Nen user in his prime, Netero, and he had a few scratches. Zero Hand didn't do that much to him. It took like a nuke explosion to defeat him, and I will say this, the poison is what truly defeated him, because he became back stronger with the help of his royal guards. The post-nuke Meruem is so powerful. Now people say just because he was playing chess with comes to Komogi, that's the reason why he beat Netero. I will say this, the fact that he can actually adapt to that point, look, he's such a new Nen user, and we have a guy who's been studying Nen for over 50 years, definitely shows how crazy of a monster Meruem is. Feat-wise, you could say he's the strongest of all. But then you're probably thinking Prime Netero was amazing. And if a guy who actually is powerful than Prime Netero, he definitely has to be the strongest of all, Maha Zoldak. And we saw the hype that Zeno gave his grandfather. He's like, the only character to actually survive Maha Zoldak was actually Netero. Now, does that mean that they just fought and it was kind of like a equal battle? Or is it like, oh, Netero was beaten up so badly, but he still survived that onslaught of attacks by Maha? We just don't know, but the high regards, you have to respect it. Now, I'm going to talk about some uncertain characters. I'm not too sure where their power is, but I definitely feel like they might have the potential to become the strongest of all, but I'm just not too sure. The first character is Pierceton Hill, a guy who downplays his power, and we know whenever a character downplays his power but is a 3-star hunter and the vice chairman, and he was very close to Netero, we know all the Zodiac sparred with Netero, and Ging is a little bit worried about this character. His Nen seems to be very haxed. He has a very crazy Hatsu probably, but he's always downplaying himself. Even Ging Freecs downplayed him, so we just don't know how powerful Pierceton is. And then there's Gyro, and I'll tell you right now, a lot of people are not really hyped about Gyro, but I have extremely crazy hype. That's why I don't want to do a video on Gyro yet. I gotta do way more research because, let's be honest here, at the end of the Chimera Ants arc, everyone was focused. We were focused on Gyro and the situation of the future, what he holds. He disobeyed his mother, the queen. The only other character we saw disobey the queen of a Chimera Ants species was Meruem. So, oh me, oh my, crazy stuff from Gyro. And the last uncertain character is Zeno Zoldak. We just haven't seen nothing from him. The fact that he was good friends with Netero makes us think, whoa, what's going on there? He went to the Dark Continent and came back. So definitely big stuff with Zeno Zoldak, but we just need to know, is he Zeno's father? Is he Maha's brother? We just don't know who he is. Now, I want to talk about some active monsters in Hunter x Hunter. These are the characters who are right now in their prime, and you definitely got to respect it, and I feel like these characters could be the strongest of all. Hisoka. Now, I will say this. I'm pretty much 100% confirmed that Hisoka is not the strongest of all. But the fact that he's always trying to fight the strongest and a battle genius, it always makes me think Hisoka has the potential to become the strongest of all. And he's right now in his prime. He's getting better and better. So definitely, this guy is a genius when it comes to his battling. So I just want to mention him. Then we have Silva, the current head of the Zoldak family. And if Silva is very crazy because he killed the Phantom Troop member, he went at it with Crollo. He's the head of a monster family. Now, I'm just not too sure if him or Zeno who's powerful, because if he's stronger than Zeno, then I think he has potential to be one of the crazy characters in the Hunter x Hunter series. But if he's actually like equal or under him, I probably would doubt it. And then there's Crollo, who got very high praise from Zeno when he asked who would win in a fight, and Zeno's like, well, I'll win, of course, but if you're trying to kill me, then it'll be a different story. And then Zeno calls him a cheeky bastard. So definitely a very lit character. I just don't know when it comes to Crollo and his abilities and the abilities he uses. He can go from very strong to, ooh, is he really that strong? It's been questioned a lot of times. Definitely questioned. And a character who rarely gets talked about, Botobai. Yes, this guy is the closest. It was said he was the closest to Netero in power. Since Netero has fallen and has died, definitely it makes you think, is Botobai one of the closest, strongest characters? Is he one of the top 5 Nen users? Something is very spooky with this Zodiac. And speaking of Netero, his son, Beyond Netero, we were hyping up Prime Netero earlier in this video. Imagine that his son, who went to the Dark Continent, came back and seemingly looks like a guy who is, how do I say this, an alpha male, he thinks he can run everything. So definitely Beyond Netero is pure hype, and I just want to see what his Nen is. Ging Freecs. When you're the father of a main character, like I just mentioned Silva, Ging Freecs is the father of Gon, the actual main character, and he's already been stated to be a top 5 Nen user. He's in his prime. We just haven't seen his Nen, but we've seen some crazy ability where he can copy your attacks, and make some better usage of your attacks. He's a genius. Ging Freecs is a genius and has so much experience. I root for Ging Freecs. He's one of my favorite characters, so I definitely believe that I feel like he needs to be one of those top characters, at least top 5 in the series, because the hype they've been building up for him has been real. But what if I told you Ging Freecs is not even the strongest in his actual family? We have Big Don Freecs. No, they don't really call him Big Don Freecs, but I'll be honest here, when you live 300 years in the Dark Continent and you're mapping out the Dark Continent, you are, for me personally, I'm thinking you're the strongest character in the whole Hunter x Hunter series. Now, it might be speculation. I might have to include this guy in uncertainty, but 300 years in the Dark Continent, that's all I need, man. I believe that Don Freecs is the strongest character in Hunter x Hunter, and that's just my opinion on the subject at hand. Now, even though I think Don Freecs is the strongest, I still think that Gon and Killua are gonna rule over everyone at the end of the story. When the final moments of the story happen, I see Gon and Killua being the strongest characters, and they might even go battle it. Maybe they'll have a crazy end of story battle, but still, I think they will rule over everyone. But this is what's amazing with this series. So many different powers, so many different abilities. And I'll be honest here, everything I said right now could be wrong, because when it comes to Nen, you just don't know. Like I said about Morel, he said it, you just don't know when it comes to Nen. Different abilities, different matchups, crazy stuff indeed. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about the strongest of all? Do you think I made a messed up when talking about this video? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Like and share if you enjoy, like and share only if you enjoy, and subscribe for more Hunter x Hunter content. I'm NenMac, and I'm gone.